Power does what it wants. Power does what it wants. Power does what it wants.
You hear that, folks? There are two sets of laws. One for the police and one for the ordinary citizen.
Excuse me, sir, there's no video recording inside. And there's masks required.
What happened?
There's no video recording inside.
Yeah, you got a federal law that allows me. I'm a news.
That's
Excuse
fine,
me.
but you have to have written permission in order. Yes, you have to have written permission. I can show you the.
Yeah, let's see it real quick. Right here under.
Yeah, we have all
Photographs.
the federal laws and everything right here that you need.
Is that in Spanish?
Some are in Spanish, some are in English.
Okay, so right here, photographs.
Here's English.
It says building entrances, lobbies, foyers, corridors, or auditoriums for news purposes. I'm allowed.
Yes, Title 41. There's also.
That's what this is.
Yes, and there's a part saying except for Social Security offices.
Where does it say that?
You just have to read through it. I haven't read through every word personally.
Well, I have, and I have never seen that.
Right, but all the information you need is right here. It's showing that you can film anywhere outside the building, but you cannot inside because of all the personal information in here.
Well, I mean, if you can show it to me, that's fine. But is what I'm reading here 102-74?
Title 41, Code Section 102 to 74. It'll let you know everything.
I'll look that up real quick, but I'm sure it says the same thing right there.
Yeah, we had the same issue not long ago with a gentleman.
That's the CFR, Title 41. 41, CFR, 102, -74 -420, right? Yep, that's what he said. All right, so because I had no problems at the Ocala Social Security office recording in there.
Yeah, well, yeah, any Social Security office, because they hold personal information and people talk at the windows and everything else like that, they're not allowed here to do it. But any other common area within a federal building, you're more than able to.
Okay. Well, just to clarify, that's the statute you pointed, right?
Mm-hmm.
41-102. Okay. Can you tell me where? There's only 3 paragraphs. Can you tell me where it says not in the Social Security office? Because it says persons entering in or on federal property may take photographs of building entrances, lobbies, foyers, corridors, or auditoriums for news purposes. There is no other
except
statute.
for with Social Security offices.
Where does it say that?
Anything that is posted saying you cannot record or video record is where you cannot do that. Now, like the common areas, foyers of like courthouses or whatever other federal building, you're more than welcome to. But anywhere that's posted that it is prohibited, you're not able to.
No, I'm pretty sure I'm fine here.
You're not. We had a guy that was trespassed already for doing the same thing you are.
Well, that doesn't mean that you guys were right. It just means that whoever trespassed them didn't know. That's all it means.
I'm telling you that.
Okay.
You can't go inside and video record. Now, if you put your video recording up and then you sign in for Social Security business, you're more than welcome to come in. But as far as with the video recording, you cannot come in.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know why it doesn't say no Social Security. I mean, that's where you said it, right?
I mean, even the last guy brought in a form saying the same thing that you are, and it also stated on there, except for Social Security offices when you're not.
Yeah, except where security regulations, rules, ordered, or directives apply,
Right.
or a federal court order or rule
So,
prohibits it.
Those
That's
papers
not.
right there.
That's a sign.
Right.
It says.
It is a federal. It says it right there, except for, you just read it.
Right.
Where you're not able to, which is right here on the wall. That was what keeps it from happening.
Well, no, that's not what it's saying. Like, okay, for example, if this was what this was saying, there would be a rule like Social Security Administration rule number 678, right? That's a rule, right?
Yeah, there's a section, there's the title.
Right.
I mean, you look it up, you just read it.
Right.
So you know now. Okay, this is step 1 of knowing. Step 2 is me informing you that you cannot go in. I mean, I can call FPS if you want them to come meet you here.
Yeah, call FPS because I don't think that's right.
All right, but you won't be able to come in the lobby with your video camera.
Well, once FPS gets here, I will, but.
Deland Social Security Office. It's at 1629 South Adele Avenue, Deland, Florida. No alarm. We do have a gentleman here that is wanting to video record in here in the lobby. I advised him that he's not able to. I showed him the forms, and he's requesting for FPS to come out here and speak to him. It's 1629 South Adele Avenue. And it's Deland, Florida. 32720. No, I'm just calling Mega Center now. That way you can get with FPS to let them know that we have a gentleman here. Okay. That's PSO Davenport. It is 352-602-0275. The Social Security office or between doors. If that was. Thank you. You're welcome. Deland. Yes. Alright. Yes. Yes, I will do. Alright, thank you. Bye-bye. They're sending someone out to speak to you. Hello.
We're all done. Thank you. You have a good day.
You too. Have a good one.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're more than welcome anywhere outside the building. You're more than welcome to.
Oh yeah, I already know all that. But yeah, it's just this is circular logic, right? Because it's saying here rules or whatever, right? So if you put up a sign directing me back to the law that says I can record,
And it also
that's
says
not a rule,
except for
right?
these locations
Except
where it's showing that you're not able to. These
what location
is what keeps you not where you cannot do that.
Yeah, it says spaces occupied by a tenant agency for non-commercial purposes only. Space occupied by a tenant agency for commercial purposes only. But for news, building entrances, lobbies, foyers, corridors, or auditoriums for news purposes.
Except where it's prohibited.
It doesn't. There's no
You
except.
read it to me in your phone.
That's
you looked
right.
it up
That's yeah.
and
And
you read it.
it's right up here. Except where security regulations.
Right.
Okay.
Well,
Do you have a
FPS
security regulation book?
I'm sorry?
Do you have a security regulation book?
I don't have a book.
But you know there is a book,
Okay.
right? You know there's a security regulation book, right?
Okay.
Okay. So if there was a security regulation, this would say photography prohibited under security regulation 56-38.
What are you dealing with? Like, I have a bone graft in my face here, and they won't serve me because I have a medical condition. My doctor says do not wear a mask due to bacteria. See it? I can't even. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have any exceptions. If you had, like, as long as you're wearing the mask, like, they will be able to, but you can be accommodated, like, if you use the phone system or maybe someone.
Yeah, that's what he did. But there's a lady back there with really large breasts wearing a yellow shirt, and she has her mask down below her face back there.
Yeah.
What do you guys problems?
I have no idea what.
Well, you're out here harassing this guy for coming in here and filming.
But you can't film inside.
I got 11 minutes of filming inside.
Well, FPS is on the way too. If you want to speak to them about
Who's FPS?
Federal Protective Services.
Is that the mega center you called?
Yes.
All right, I got that number. You guys
Are y'all together?
No.
I mean, I don't know why you're name calling me. I didn't do anything.
What did I call you?
Y'all are pathetic. Like.
Y'all, yes, y'all are pathetic. Like I have a medical condition. I'm trying to ask a question about Social Security stuff.
Yeah.
And there's a cop that's taking a homeless person's check and putting it into their bank account.
Oh wow.
And I'm trying to find information. This guy's slamming the door down on me. And then the other thing you have Social Security numbers right on his desk laying around, like 10 or 15 of them. And you're worried about a fucking mask?
That's just their protocol.
Like, this is legit. That's legit. I have to have this in.
No, I believe you. I'm not, I don't not believe you or anything.
But then there's people walking around the back. How come you're not out in the back there telling those people to put their mask on? Because you're a tyrant, that's why. And you want to fuck with people that, what are you doing, press?
Yeah.
You have a free press?
I mean, we have everything here as well if you want to.
Yeah, but your CFR say, I was over listening, your CFR say you can record in the public lobbies.
Yeah, that's what it says.
And other than when it's not accepted. We got signs right here that prohibit it.
What? How come you're not in the back with a mask thing telling them?
Because I'm out front to control the lobby.
Go walk the mat back if you want to be
Okay, I don't need you to tell me how to do my job.
Go do your job properly then.
I am.
No,
That's
you're not.
why I'm keeping them out.
The people in the back aren't wearing their masks. What are you worried about us for?
Because I'm here to do
Be a
my
tyrant.
job.
You're not doing your job. You're selectively doing your job.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are. What's that name there?
Davenport.
And you have a Class D security license, I guess?
That'd be G.
G, okay, with a gun. Okay. I gotta remember that. D is for that, G is with a gun.
I don't know anything about that stuff. I'm just here because I was doing a story. There were a couple of guys arrested here for not wearing a mask.
Yeah.
Vets.
Yeah, stage 4 lung cancer. I saw that.
Right, and they said these people say that they go by the
CDC guidelines.
CDC guidelines, right? So I looked up the CDC guidelines last night.
There's no regulations.
No, it said they may choose to wear a mask. May choose.
And the guy had were you here that day the guy had stage 4 lung cancer?
I was here. The two guys were arrested.
Their charges are already dismissed.
That has nothing to do with me.
And the people that were here didn't even want
I'm
to
here
trespass.
to do
Selectively
lobbying.
force the law.
Well, the manager is the ones who trespass them.
They didn't even trespass.
Is the manager
They
here?
are
Can I speak with the
No,
manager?
they didn't trespass them. They on the body camera it says they didn't want them trespass. They just wanted them out of the lobby. That's it.
Well, they are trespassed. They didn't. They still refused to leave, and that's why they were
They're not.
arrested.
The charges were dismissed 3 days later because you guys suck at doing your jobs.
All right. So you were here, correct?
I wasn't here.
All right, then. How are you gonna say what was going
I
on?
watched the body camera. That's about as much evidence as you can have. Does that make sense?
Well, I mean, I don't know why you're taking out on me for what their policy
You should
is.
take the American flag off because you're a bullshitter with that thing on. That's what it is.
Well, everyone's right to their opinion.
No, it's the right to the fact. That's what
No.
it is. You wear that in disgrace.
You have no idea who I am.
I know exactly who you're from. This little bit's you're from. So Kimberly A. Davenport. I know exactly who you are from this brief interaction.
All right.
How long does it take for the FPS people to come here?
They'll be here when they get here.
Hour? 30 minutes?
I mean, you're more welcome to wait if you want to speak with them.
I don't want to wait. I'm just asking.
I mean, because you can have the argument with them, and they'll be able to just clear everything up for you.
Afternoon. You ready to go hands on again? What? Y'all ready to go hands on?
Excuse me? Squeeze it. Squeeze it.
No. We're waiting on FPS. I don't know what these guys are doing here. Anything I want.
Well, I don't need consent.
Cool. No, he didn't give consent. You better get him.
Excuse me?
So, no, I need to get right there. You have a good day.
You too. So, what was it? So you said that.
So I let him know that he cannot record inside.
Okay.
Anywhere outside the building, he's more than welcome to record, take
Okay.
pictures, or whatever. I pointed out, he looked at this, he pointed out, he even looked it up, and he said, except for where it's not allowed. Correct?
Yes, and I'll explain that. You gentlemen probably figure it out on your own, but this young lady's having a problem. So in here it says photographs. Where are we? Here we go. Except where security regulations, okay, security regulations, rules, orders, or directives apply. Okay? So we know what that is, security regulations. You got a security regulation manual, page 54, security regulation 1.2.
Okay.
Right? So what the sign does, photography prohibited. It would mean absolutely nothing if it doesn't have a state statute or a CFR statute attached to it, right? It's an unlawful, It's not lawful. This one does have a United States code.
Okay.
Section 102-74.420.
Okay.
Which is this.
Yes.
And it says persons entering in or on federal property may take photographs of, see, building entrances, lobbies, foyers, corridors, or auditoriums for news purposes.
Okay.
Unless
directed otherwise because of the security.
unless there's a directive. Now, when they talk about the federal government, they put out directives.
Okay.
It's not Uncle Sam going, "Hey, this is my directive."
Okay.
He writes it down.
A written bill. Yes.
Right. So, if there was a security regulation, directive, order, or rule, it would be listed here.
Okay.
Not the statute that gives me permission for news purposes, right? I mean, what kind of logic is that, right?
Yeah, no, I understand.
Okay.
That.
And as I'm sure we probably all know, I have the law in my back pocket. Anywhere the public's allowed, the press is allowed.
Yes, public access ways.
Go through,
you
Phil.
guys are more than welcome to report. We cannot in any way, shape, or form prohibit you from doing
Exactly.
that.
So
As it is your right.
Exactly,
So
just like the post
sidewalks,
office.
outside of the parking lot, that's fine. Common areas such as the lobby, again, it says it on that poster. So that I don't see what the
It's except for where it's prohibited.
But-
These are FPS is on the way. So I mean, if
Yeah,
y'all
we
hang
can
out,
wait for them.
FPS.
Okay.
more
And I can
welcome to
explain
it.
that to them as well. But again, you're on the right path. We've actually got judges that have agreed with us because this happens a lot. And the judge specifically says, how can you have a sign prohibiting photography when the law says that you're allowed to take photography? So it's a big issue going on right now. They trespassed a gentleman a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
A couple of people were arrested. Come on through, ladies. A couple people were arrested here a couple weeks ago for not wearing a mask. I brought my mask today, in case I was able to get in. But the young lady's very swift. You're like a ninja. She was on the door and she kept me contained. So, but yeah, I mean, it's pretty clear. These are pretty much the same. That's not the same regulation. If you're familiar with the post office and the people that record in post offices,
Yes.
they have pretty much the exact same wording on there, what they call as a poster 7,
Yes.
which is
I'm aware of a poster 7.
okay. So this is exactly the same language, right? It's news purposes, foyers, lobbies, anywhere the public can go that we don't need assistance to go, right? Anywhere we don't need to be signed in to go, anywhere we don't need a key card to get access to, right? Those are places that we could go. Now, to prove this, while she was confronting me with my obvious gear, my buddy came in with his cell phone and sat in there and recorded for 11 minutes.
Okay.
And, so anywhere the public's allowed to be, it's not illegal. Just for example, in Florida, we have a wiretapping statute, right? And that is where if you're recording somebody and you're in a place that you're not allowed to be, like generally, like if I was to go in the back office and was recording them, that would be illegal, right? It's wiretapping. But every state statute and the whole United States says where there's no expectation of privacy. So I could come in here into this lobby with like spy glasses and all kinds of cameras that you wouldn't even know in my hat. And I could sit here and record all day long. And if you caught me, they couldn't charge me. There's no charge. It's absolutely not illegal. As long as there's no expectation of privacy.
Well, with their except for the exceptions because it's a Social Security office.
Yeah, we'll
people
talk to
have their
FPS.
Social
We understand. We understand. It's hard to figure it out.
Alright, so like we explained to her, our supervisor is going to come down here.
Yeah, it's fine. I was just up at your department.
I understand what you're saying, right? It says it clearly on there.
Yeah.
Where there are places, pretty much where there are places where there's no expectation of privacy, right? A person would be free to record.
Absolutely.
The concern and issue that she brought up was that people do have to type in their social security numbers on the kiosk that's in there, and when there are
I didn't put mine in there. You don't have to.
Yeah, no, I got that, and that when the attendants are over at the window, people have to say and give their social security numbers.
Well, I'm hoping, and part of the reason we do this is to make sure that they're not. But if I'm sitting in a public lobby and I can hear people's personal information, there's an issue.
Yeah, that's an issue.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I get that completely.
I don't need a camera to remember, 9 numbers. I remember phone numbers. A hot chick comes by, hey, baby, my number's such and such. Oh, this.
Officer, right out.
I'll let you finish
Yeah, you know, if hot chick comes by and yells out her number, you believe I'm gonna remember that. And if I'm a thief, you know,
Yeah,
that
not
had
coming
to
in to steal
that had to
Social Security
struggle to
numbers.
get security numbers one by one instead of paying an employee who's disgruntled 50 grand to give me a you know what I mean? Like,
I get that.
come on, come on. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It is, and I understand, you know, but it's the wording that gets them, you know, the rules and directives. I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
I understand that, but there's got to be a rule or a directive, you know.
Yes.
You got to point to it. You can't just be like, well, there's a rule somewhere in space and time
Yeah, no,
that says we can't do this.
Because it'd be the same thing like if people wanted us to just arrest people for shits and giggles, right? We can't just do that, right? We can't just conjure a magical law and then people go to jail. That's not how that works.
Right.
And so I understand where you're coming from completely.
Yeah.
But again, her concern was, I guess, because people do have to type in their social security numbers at the kiosk or speak it to a representative at those little attendant windows.
Right.
When people record audio and video.
And this is federal law, so I know that you guys aren't well versed. You guys, you know,
I
city,
try
state,
to. I watch First Amendment auditors all the time.
Do you?
Try to
Okay.
keep my knowledge up.
I'm majorly awesome, or Rogue Nation is what I go by. But I've been doing Central Florida for 4 or 5 years now. But I told her right away, you know, call FPS, get FPS on the way, Federal Protective Services
say that they were
on the way.
out here.
Right.
And
I'm more than happy to
that's
talk
what
with
I'm
them and
waiting
have
for.
them
I'm
work them
waiting
out.
for them to get here to try to clarify any things that maybe, you know, maybe a little bit. My understanding may be a little bit different than what theirs is. That they're able to show some type of directive where you're not allowed to record inside of a Social Security office. Then I'm assuming you guys would. I mean, you seem
probably know about it.
Yeah. And you guys seem pretty well educated before you guys come up here.
Right.
I doubt that you guys would give us any issues if she pulls out.
Right. No, and if they told me to leave, you know, I'm being trespassed and I'll be arrested, I'll get right out of here. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not here to go to jail. I'm not here to start any trouble.
No, but it's
I just want the rights.
Thing.
I just want the rights that everybody should have. You know what I mean?
Not a problem.
And when we go to government buildings, it used to be worse when I started years ago, but thank God it's getting better. But when you go to government buildings and you want to record the government and the performance of their duties, all of a sudden it's an issue. There's privacy issues and this kind of issue, you know. But the DMV was just caught selling $77 million worth of our private information to debt collectors here in Florida. You know what I mean? So it's like you're worried about a guy with a camera. Meanwhile, you're selling, you know, addresses, whatever else to debt collectors. And it doesn't make any sense.
Daddy, do you know what that's all about?
This is my redheaded stepchild, Marcel. Go ahead, Marcel.
Literal stepchild?
No, I'm just playing.
We're from Alabama. My mom's his cousin. So, when I went in there to report something, I had to have a bone graft in my mouth. That's why I can't talk funny right now. I have stitches and everything. I went in there to go to report something. There's a New Smyrna Beach police officer, Officer Deal. I don't know if you know her.
Okay.
She was allegedly cashing Social Security checks for homeless people, a homeless person or homeless people, putting them into her bank account, and then giving the money back, how much ever the money should get back. She says it was all of it. But that's what I came in here to do, and I told him I can't wear a mask in here. And the reason why I was talking about earlier about you guys going to go hands-on on the body camera, he called and said, I'm going to go hands-on with these guys here in just a minute. It was a guy that had stage 4 lung cancer, and another guy that was trying to get off the Social Security benefits. Long story short, I'm sitting there at the thing, I'm not recording or anything like that, and in his trash can is pieces of paper with Social Security numbers on them in the trash can. And next to me is a pen, and I have my printout, my receipt piece of paper, and I didn't write it down, but I could write down 6 Social Security numbers that were in the trash can.
Yeah.
Right in here?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't see that.
That's when you go to the...
And here's the thing, too. Having that information is not illegal. It's if he does something with that information that it becomes then legal. You know what I mean? Like, you could tell me your Social Security number all day long. Doesn't mean nothing.
The guy with LifeLock, he put it up on a billboard, you know? So when that happened, I'm sitting here looking at it, I'm just saying, hey, I just wanted to ask the information. Well, how do we handle this with a police officer that is cashing a Social Security check for a homeless person? This officer, from what I've been given tips, has a history of troublesome stuff. I don't know what the troublesome stuff is. It's just not trustworthy to be having someone's money like that. And so I'm asking the question. The guy shuts the window down on me, and I'm like, I have a bone graft if I wear a mask. what will happen is the bacteria can build up in here and the bone graft.
No, I get that.
So I'm just trying to get this information. But on top of that, when you go in here, there's a lady in there with big boobs. And you were talking about a woman there. She's not really that attractive, but really big boobs and an orange shirt on. And she's wearing a mask down here. Nothing. And it's like, why are you tackling us to do something? When someone came down and sat down in the same row, I moved up to the front. I'm like, I don't want to be around someone if they don't feel comfortable there. But at the same time, you got the employees in the back that are not doing what it's rules for me to be, not for me.
Saw a lieutenant pull in here.
Yeah, he's right there, ain't he?
I think he's talking to these guys down here.
Okay. What was your name again, bud?
I go by Major Lee Awesome.
I like it.
Major Lee Awesome. And unless I'm suspected of a crime, and then I give my ID. But my media name is Major Lee Awesome. We didn't know you guys were having a picnic out here. We thought we'd join you. We were lonely up there.
Good for you. Awesome.
Yes.
I'm assuming you're also not.
I am awesome. How did you know that? That's my name, Major Lee Awesome. I'm not lying. Look, Major Lee Awesome.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
I like it. That's pretty tight.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Thank you.
I encourage you to just go in there and read the rules on the wall, the GSA rules. The rules are clearly.
But we don't enforce the.
Trespass.
State law.
Yeah, but what did I do wrong to get trespassed?
Because when you violated their policies or their rules,
I only have to follow the law in this public building. It's an important distinction.
You're allowed to break whatever rules you want.
It does mean I can break the rules. I have to follow the law.
And again, Mr. Doe, that's how I know you, Mr. Doe. I'm not trying to be
You just call me sir.
sir. Then if you refuse to, abide by the prior trespass, like I told, that's what I'm trying to get.
I'm not violating the trespass. I'm saying the trespass is null and void because you're violating my rights. You continue.
Well, and if
the land continues to violate my rights.
Sir, if you feel that way and you step on said property, then we have potentially a criminal issue that we'll have to resolve.
If he did that, would you arrest him or would you send a 707 in and let the state attorney do something?
Make an arrest because he's not identified. So we can't positively. I can't send a 70. The guys can't send a 707 in. We have to have an address, a name, preferably it's somebody.
Well, I'm saying at that point, if he did, and you
right.
get his ID, and he says, "Here's my ID." Fine. You know what? Here it is. Would you arrest him or would you send a 707 in as a lieutenant?
Either or, depends. We've been taking I'll be honest with you, we've been taking a butt kicking with calls today.
Yeah. Last thing you guys.
Extremely busy. So I've got two officers and myself up down.
These guys have been awesome. I came out originally.
Yeah, and we've got FPS on the way. We don't need to tie you guys up, you know. And
I think FPS is who you spoke with last time. I think the guy that said, "Hey, come on back." So what I'd like to do, if we're still here, I'd like to get with that officer. I don't know if it's going to be the same officer or not, but because, like I said, my understanding was you were invited back to the property by him, and you actually came back, and that at that point
that voids
right
from here. You can walk on the alley. You can't do it because now it becomes. They can tell you to be trespassed again. After
well, that's how that conversation ended.
Right, that's what I'm saying though. Is if you, let's say they come back and like, oh no, we want all three of these guys trespassing. We're like, okay, whatever. You don't ID, but you all leave. Or get over here. You're good.
That satisfies.
You're good. John Doe 1, John Doe 2, and John Doe 3, or whatever we have to,
This is Bob, my older brother Bob.
That's my stepdaddy.
Cool. But that's kind of where we would be at that point in time. We're talking about a bunch of what ifs, for lack of a better term, I guess. So it's up to you guys. You're obviously not on the premises right now.
Yeah, and you guys aren't detained or anything like that?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, we can't make you ID yourselves. You haven't done anything wrong. You haven't broken any laws.
They never asked anybody to leave or trespass?
Nope.
No, the security staff here never asked anyone to leave.
Because the call says, I want to say the call said something different. About
third party.
Said something about, guy, I guess whoever called had a like 877 area code number.
Yeah, that's another toll-free line. Yeah.
So,
but
and
I
it said
spoke
something
with
about
staff.
they were inside videotaping is what I think the call said.
I think that was maybe someone who works in there, but From what I've talked to with security staff, when
They haven't
we
been
talk
asked to leave?
No one's been
Perfect.
asked to leave.
Good to go.
Here's a funny one for
Yes,
you.
sir.
I do public records requests a lot. I got charged with a crime somewhere in the city here, and the job dropped just like these guys did, like 5 days later. I asked, Marcy's Law, everybody knows that.
Right.
I asked for the copy of the report, got it. I had the social security number of the person who filed the charges against me, and the other witness and the other alleged victim. If the city gave that to me, and there's nothing that they could have been charged with, anything in their entire, nothing civilly for giving those people the social security number. Now, if you go to a library and you check out a book, and I walk in there and say, I want to know what's your first name, M. Sanford?
Matt.
What did Matt just check out in a book? The librarian says he just checked out the Constitution. This.
Right.
It's a criminal offense for her to tell me that.
Okay.
Isn't that crazy? Law enforcement have so much protections.
Well, there's a lot of crazy stuff out there, right? I mean, I think we can all agree with that. Agree or disagree. I mean, there's some we see it all the time. I'm sure you guys see things that you feel is crazy as well, right?
Yeah, a lot
Just
of
like,
it's coming
just like
off the land,
us being
unfortunately.
here, right? I mean, and again, I respect your opinion. So,
Well, I'm less concerned about you respecting my opinion than respecting my rights.
okay.
I couldn't care less if you respect my opinion. What I do care about is you respecting my rights, and that has yet to happen.
And what it was because he was trespassed for filming just like I was doing.
No, he was trespassed because he didn't leave. That's why he was.
But he was asked to leave because he was recording.
Right.
Okay, so now in the federal law on the poster, which I showed these gentlemen, was there's a space for news purposes, right? Except if there's a security regulation, a rule, an order, or a directive, right? And if there's a directive, there's like a directive number, right? Like directive number 657. Or a rule, there's rule number 825, right? That's how we recognize them, right? They're written down somewhere. It's not just somebody saying, hey, there's a rule somewhere out in space, right? There's a rule. Well, under the photography sign, that's not prohibited, that's prohibited. It doesn't give any of that. It doesn't give a rule or a directive or a security regulation, right? All it does is give the CFR number that says that I can record for news purposes.
Okay.
So it's got a sign saying you can't record, and you can't record because of this U.S. code, and then you look at the U.S. code, and it says you can record. What's the deal? What do we go by then? Should he be trespassed? Because, and I know federal law's not your guys' wheelhouse, and that's FPS. But even FPS gets it wrong sometimes. But we're working on it. We're working on it.
Again, like I said, we're not here like, hey, we're gonna do this to these gentlemen today.
You guys are fine.
Or whatever it may be. We didn't show up here because, hey, let's see who's down at the Social Security office. We showed up because we had a call for service.
Oh, absolutely.
That's the only reason we came.
I was surprised because I told her to call FPS. She said she'd called FPS. And I was being cordial.
FPS probably called us.
Yeah.
More than likely,
Probably in Orlando.
Right.
That would be. I don't believe they have a local.
Yeah, probably not.
Because I think last time with you, I think she called the guy in Orlando. I'm pretty sure. And.
Yeah, because I don't want to wait here all day for these guys.
He was supposed to be coming, but I don't think he ever got here by the time I had left him.
Yeah, it's almost 3 o'clock.
Hey, come on back or something.
Yeah, I'm going to go in there real quick because I could go into the foyer right there in the front and the security guard will come out. I'll ask her if she thinks they're close or whatnot. Because
I've got his cell phone. Maybe if I give you his cell phone, you could call him. Maybe he's more apt to answer you. You could just say,
we don't mind calling him.
Yeah, just say, are you close? Because if not, we'll take off. We don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time. And we can contact him some other day or meet him up here some other day.
The second topic that might be good for you guys as well. Like Daytona and Port Orange has paid out a lot of money for homeless arrests.
Okay.
With panhandling.
Okay.
90,000 to one the other day, 120 to another one, and it's all because of this aggressive panhandling. Like I say, hey man, I see you got money. Give me some fucking money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That means it's aggressive. But there's people like me and another guy that go out and we hold a sign that says "God bless the homeless vets." And we get trespassed. He gets arrested. And
I'll put it on speaker.
but these different places are getting they're getting sued for this, and it doesn't come out of the taxpayers' money. It comes out of
No.
insurance, which indirectly comes
Are
out.
now let me ask you, because you may know this, I do not, because I don't read Port Orange's or.
It's the same one you guys got because the same attorney did them all.
Okay. Okay. So similar panhandling is city ordinance.
Yeah, St. Augustine has it. Daytona Beach had it. They all wrote the same one,
Okay.
which they should have just taken the ordinance from there and just adopted it instead. But this attorney is like, I'll fight these for you and make sure we get it, but they're losing.
Okay. So it's interesting. I didn't know that.
And like the guy that just came up here, he had his car broken into at a homeless camp.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys are working or not when it happened, but he had his car
Yeah.
broken, all the tools stolen.
There's no need to wait around.
They know how far away this FPS rep is, please.
So,
Thank
but
you,
the
sir.
homeless, just like, I mean, homeless people can be a nuisance. Everybody knows that, but we're all people and we're humans, and that's where the guy that got arrested was Naked Cowboy. You've seen him before? He's out there holding a drum, and someone put money in his cops, and these two cops arrested him for it. And I was like, whoa, he got 90 grand. The other one was another guy that got 120 for, he had to spend the time in jail for like, I don't know, it was like 7 days he was out there.
But we've already told the city manager and another lieutenant, I don't remember his name, was at the station. We were just we were just up there. But there's going to be people come out to test the panhandling laws, and make sure that when, like he said, we understand aggressive, but if somebody's just standing there with a sign or maybe even saying, hey, give me a buck, or
those guys are a wealth of information too. I don't know if you homeless people are. You walk up to them, hey man, you get a rapport with them guys. They will tell you everything. They see everything that's going on. That's what happened with Brian Smith. He was telling me that he saw a hit and run. Yeah, I remember the last 3 of the tag. And I was like, well, shoot, Port Orange, you'll be able to get that parcel. We'll put a parcel in there, what kind of car it was. Sure enough, he catches that. And I mean, that's it. I know people look down on homeless people, but you and me, you're married. You married?
Yes, I am.
You know how quick you are from being homeless? One lawsuit. Your wife leaving you,
Absolutely.
you getting fired at your job, and then you're like, "Hey man, can I stay at someone's house?" That's all it takes. 3 steps.
it's sad. It's a sad state of affairs, dude.
Very accurate description.
Everybody knows the wives when they're mad.
You're 2 divorces away from dying poor.
That's it. I mean, most people won't recover, but that's all it takes.
My brother always says that marriages can sometimes be like a tornado or a hurricane, right?
That's it.
Everything's all nice and great till that hurricane's with your house, your car, and everything else.
Yeah.
And that's exactly it. But that's why I say with homeless people, there's some mentally ill people that are definitely there. There's some criminals that are there, and you may have seen it. There's a guy was up here. He's telling us his truck got broken into, and he followed a trail to the homeless camp. And this guy stole all his tools out of his truck, and he got everything. But there are people like that. But then there are simple people.
Well, they're not all that way, though.
Yeah.
It's just like anything else. Just like, any group of people, it's my personal opinion is not good to paint them with a broad brush. Because, everybody's that way, and it's not true.
That's right. You sweep everybody up under one broom, and then you can't distinguish good from the bad anymore.
Yeah, it's so bad. Once you sign that 707, if they have money, then it's $1,500 to $2,500 just to fight a misdemeanor and $5,000 for a felony, and it's just one of those things. That's why I was asking about if you walked on there, what would you do? I'm curious about your mentality.
Yeah, my mentality, like I said, that my big dilemma with it is because it's not our gig. We got called that day when you were here, and of course the videotaping, whatever. Hey, it's not within our
wheelhouse
protocol or policies to allow this. Okay, and the security officer here at the time got on the phone with the gentleman from FPS who says, yeah, we want him trespassed. Okay, hey, you're now being trespassed. Again, didn't force him to give ID. He declined respectfully and said, okay, hey, from this point forward, if you come back within 365 days, you're subject to arrest. Filled out as a John Doe.
Do you have a trespass appeal hearing that you guys do here?
You can, but it's basically, I want to say it's within 10 days of getting issued the trespass warning, and you basically have to come down to the police department and say, hey, I got this, and I want to contest it. And you basically go in front of the chief, and then the chief says, hey, tell me, while I was sitting there waiting for my wife to get off of work, I was angry, and security guard came up, and I told him, hey, I'm waiting for my wife. He said, well, you can't be here, and I said, well, whatever custom
Given the
out.
circumstances.
Well, so do you have to say those specific words? Because I met with the IA investigator within those 10 days, and this obviously was my
Lieutenant Milan?
his subordinate.
should have been Vasquez.
Vasquez.
Okay.
Lewis. I'm
Lewis.
sorry.
Yeah,
Lewis.
Lewis. Yep.
So I mean, I said I didn't say those words, but I mean, I was there.
No, I got you. It didn't, and again, pardon my, not knowing because I wasn't in that meeting. I guess that you asked for. Okay. So that's news to me. First I'm hearing about that. I don't know what kind of verbiage you would have to use. It's basically up to. They ask us to issue trespass. We issue it on their behalf or whoever's. We fill out the paperwork. They get a copy. Hey, my trespass. Valid for 365 days. We come back. You're subject to arrest. Okay, pretty common wording or verbiage to use. Okay. If you're invited back, such as you were, that basically becomes null and void. So, at that point, if said FPS agent or gentleman or whoever it is, officer comes out here today and says, hey, no, where you're at, right, they can't trespass you from there. You're on their property, yes, they can.
Which is why I'm here.
Right, so, absolutely. I figured that. I was like, okay, he's across the street. I'm like, all right, cool.
So, as devil's advocate, why can't you trespass him from here? You being a city employee, and this is a city right away. Why can't you just trespass him from here? Because he's here near this place again.
Why would we trespass you from there? We're not doing anything wrong.
And he wasn't doing anything wrong inside.
And again,
that's what I get.
But you're sitting here and you're crumbling up pieces of paper, throwing them in the air. Okay.
You got maybe littering if you don't pick it up.
Right. So at that point, if Officer Rideout came out and said, "Hey, look, man, I'm not going to give you a ticket, but I'm going to trespass you from wherever, this park bench or whatever it may be, this public park, public park." Okay. Then
for violating, for making a criminal offense,
something like that.
Littering is littering would be an ordinance for criminal.
But do you see where I'm getting at? Just like the trespass, agree with it or disagree?
Yeah, no, but you just mentioned a crime being a reason for the trespass.
Right.
But in this case, there is no crime.
Okay.
Would you admit that at least?
I'm not going to admit anything.
Well, I think because I think they told him their policy, their law was
the law enforcement.
right. So they were.
So they called them and they're not responding. Perfect.
So y'all just waste your time out here. I knew that's what they do. But
Yeah.
Asked her too. We said, how long is it going to be? She's like, well, it's going to be an hour. I don't know. You can hang out and wait.
Yeah, we'll take it up with them again, and I'm not trespassed, so I'll make a visit with them again, and I love to visit. Bring tea and sometimes candy, and we have a good old time.
And Lieutenant Hughes, did he get a haircut? He looked like a cockatiel for a while.
He did.
So that's the last time I saw him. He was violating everybody's rights out there at the where was that at? The fairgrounds when they had a shooting out there. They had a truck meet. There was a big old do.
Yep, he was stopping everybody.
Stopping everybody and getting numbers. He wasn't victim, but he was just
All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming out.
you guys have a good day.
You too, guys.